What happens when the world's financial system crumbles? Twice in modern history, the global economy has stood at the edge of the abyss. First in 1929 with the Great Depression, and again in 2008 with the financial crisis. Millions lost their jobs. Banks collapsed. Governments scrambled to find solutions. But how do these two catastrophes compare? Were the mistakes of the past repeated in 2008, or had we learned our lesson? Let's dive deep into the chaos, the consequences, and the comebacks of two of the worst economic disasters in history. It all starts with a bubble. In the 1920s, the US stock market soared. Ordinary people, factory workers, teachers, farmers, poured their savings into stocks, hoping to get rich overnight. But behind the optimism, trouble was brewing. Banks gave out risky loans. Companies overproduced goods. And on October 29, 1929, Black Tuesday, the market crashed. Investors panicked. Billions vanished. The economy spiraled into free fall. Fast forward to the 2000s. This time it wasn't stocks, it was real estate. Banks handed out mortgages like candy, even to people who couldn't afford them. These risky loans, bundled into complex financial products, flooded the market. When homeowners started defaulting, the entire system unraveled. In September 2008, Lehman Brothers, one of Wall Street's giants, collapsed, sending shockwaves across the globe. Two crashes, two different decades, but eerily similar root causes: unchecked speculation, risky lending, and an overconfident market. Now here's where things took a different turn. During the Great Depression, the government's response was slow and brutal. The Federal Reserve tightened money supply instead of expanding it. Unemployment soared to 25%. Desperate people lined up for food as banks continued to collapse. It took years, and massive government intervention through Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal, to start rebuilding. In 2008, governments moved fast. The US government injected $700 billion to stabilize banks, while the Federal Reserve slashed interest rates. The crisis was painful, but nowhere near as devastating as the Great Depression. Did we learn from history? Maybe. But the response in 2008 also raised a crucial question. Did we save the economy, or just bail out those who caused the crisis in the first place? The scars of both crises run deep. The Great Depression led to sweeping reforms: Social Security, bank regulations, and public works programs that shaped modern America. But it also fueled political extremism worldwide. In Germany, economic despair helped Adolf Hitler rise to power, leading to World War II. The 2008 crisis had its own long-term effects. It deepened wealth inequality, sparked distrust in financial institutions, and led to a global wave of populist politics. For millions, the recovery never really came. History doesn't just repeat, it evolves. Each crisis reshapes society in ways we don't always see right away. So what's the lesson? Both the Great Depression and the 2008 crisis remind us of a harsh truth. When financial systems collapse, it's often the ordinary people, not the bankers, who suffer the most. The question isn't whether another crash will happen. It's when and whether we'll be ready. If history has taught us anything, it's this: economies recover. But the choices we make in the aftermath? They define the world we live in for generations to come. Subscribe so you never miss a story.